Good afternoon. I trust you can all hear me. I can hear myself too much. I think I need to turn myself down. I don't really want to hear myself, but as long as you can hear me, if you can let me know in the chat, that I would really appreciate it. That'd be really good. And you can see me in, is the audio okay? Is it too loud, too soft? Is everything okay? Can you hear me? Loud and clear. Good to hear. Anybody else want to chime in with how the audio sounds? How my voice sounds? Oh, excuse me. Sorry if I cough every now and again. I'm still trying to get over this flu that I've kind of had. It's more or less better. It's just sort of a lingering cough is still going. So yeah, anybody else can let me know in the chat if it's the little quiet. Okie dokie. I could solve that. Hope the microphone's not close enough as well. So how's that? Is that a little bit better? Yeah, 5 and 9. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. Not 5 by 5 then. 5 by 9. 5 and 9. I'm not quite sure what that means. My radio frequencies are probably a little bit different from yours. Usually marks out of 5 on both in loudness and clarity. So anyway, yeah, this is probably a little bit unusual for me. I don't usually do streams like this, but I thought I might start doing them because why not? And then I get a little bit better at it. And ham radio speak. Oh, well, it's probably different. I'm not used to ham radio speak, Paul. So yeah, that probably would explain it. So yeah, the radio chat that I'm used to is completely different. So well, that's okay. As long as you can hear me and it's loud enough, then it's all good. So what I thought I'd do is critique a video. I mean, it's actually a Mr. Sensible video, but he's doing a video about Flatzoid, and it's about you remember Shoemaker Levy 5, which was the comet that collided with Jupiter. I think it was 1994. I think it was. I don't know if you guys remember that. Hi, Ellis. How's it going? So if you remember that. So Flatzoid thinks it's all fake, as he would, because he's dumb. And Mr. Sensible is putting him right about a few things, and Mr. Sensible is absolutely 100% correct. He's sort of saying, but I really wanted to kind of highlight a few things as I go along. And I saw this video when we were playing it on Terry Davies' show, The Aussie Perspective, this morning. So I thought I want to sort of do my own little slightly more aggressive approach of it than Mr. Sensible might do as well, and just show really how dumb Flatzoid is, quite honest, quite frankly. So yeah, Shoemaker Levy 5, exactly, Rich. That's exactly it. So yeah, collided with Jupiter. So Flatzoid thinks it is. So let's bring this all in for the next page. So so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing the video, and I'll just sort of stop it every now and again and sort of add my 2 pennies worth in. So so there it is. So let me just play part of the video. I just wanted to check that the audio, because I'm still fairly new to this kind of live streaming. So hopefully you can play it. I'll play just like a short snip of it and let me know if you can hear it.
Anyway, like I was saying, I was looking up at that thing that Mr. Sensor was talking about.
Could you hear Flatzoid talking there? Was that coming through okay? Hope so. Let me know in the chat. That'd be good. We hear it. Good. As long as you can hear it, that's the main thing. So anyway, so let me just play a little bit, and then we'll critique it as we go.
That comet.
That will be Comet Shoemaker Levy 9 that struck Jupiter. Zaphod, what do you think?
10 out of 10 for style,
But let's see what he scores for good thinking.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, exactly, Atlas.
So in a recent debate, Flatzoid was commenting or claiming that the planets, etc., are just lights in the sky. So I gave the example of Comet Shoemaker Levy 9, which struck Jupiter.
Well, I mean, we all know Flurfs, or most of them, actually think that they're just lights in the sky. And how Flatzoid thinks this is all lights in the sky is beyond me, considering the amount of data that's actually available about this once in a lifetime event, which it was at the time, which was the first direct observation of objects in space actually colliding with another planet within our solar system. Has never been observed before. So the opportunity, but how he thinks that, God knows. But anyway, let's carry on.
And was caught photographically. Now, Zoid hadn't actually heard of that before. Okay, so I gave him the link so he could look into it. This is his response.
Because there's some interesting things I found out about it that shows it's not as innocent as he thinks it is.
Some interesting things he found out about it. In other words, he's completely misinterpreted what he's actually seen. In other words.
Are you saying it's yet another guilty comet?
Okay, so anyway, he says Comet Shoemaker, Levy 9, that was the one that apparently the fragments were hitting in Jupiter for months and stuff.
No, not apparently, it did. Flatzoid.
And you could see it with the telescope, blah, 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 blah. But if you look at it, and it's literally discovered by astronomers Caroline, Eugene M. Shoemaker, and Levy in 1993. It had been captured by Jupiter's gravity and was orbiting the planet at the time. It was located...
I wonder why he finds that funny that it was captured by Jupiter's orbit. What does he find so funny about that? So Atlas, what do you mean objection? What are you objecting to exactly?
On the night of March 24, in a photograph taken with a 46 centimeter, 18-inch Smith telescope. That's not a telescope everybody at home can use, can they?
No, that's not a telescope that everybody uses at home. But as you're going to see later on the video, amateur astronomers did actually capture it. To capture the kind of detail that you see in here on the screen on that Wikipedia page, then absolutely you would need a telescope of that caliber. But yeah, it still was possible, and I remember it distinctly because I remember talking to an amateur astronomer that did witness part of it and saw the actual impacts and things like that. So
remember, Mr. Sensible said everybody could see it for a few months. Yeah, everybody that had this kind of telescope. Since when do you guys have this kind of telescope at home?
Did I say that, Flatzoid? You wouldn't want to straw man me now, would you? Let's have a look at a short portion of that debate where I was talking about things that show that objects in the sky are real physical objects, and brought up Shoemaker Levy 9. Well, for instance, with the moon, we can see craters that have been made by vehicles that have crashed into the moon. A few years back, there was Comet Shoemaker-Levy, which broke up into a dozen pieces, and using orbital mechanics with all the various laws of gravity and so on, they calculated it was going to hit Jupiter, and indeed it did, and we could see the impacts on Jupiter for quite some time, more than one rotation of Jupiter, and the impacts came back round again.
That's interesting.
Okay, if you've not seen that, it's Shoemaker.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I'll have to go and look at it.
Shoemaker, spelled as you'd think, hyphen Levy, L-E-V-Y. Okay. Shoemaker-Levy. It was quite astonishing. I do have another super chat from Mr. E-Man. Thank you, Mr. E-Man, for $50 Australian. Thank you, my friend. So it appears I didn't say that everybody could see it, either naked eye or with binoculars or home-grade telescopes. No, I said that we could see it, as in we, humans, people on Earth, using powerful telescopes.
So that kind of stood out to me, how you would need a telescope like that to see what they're saying.
At this point, step in one of his guests, who is also one of his moderators, Mr. Michael Mutum and Bootum.
But what's claimed behind it? It's just another light in the sky, isn't it?
Oh, here's the brains of Britain, whatever his name is, Michael. It's just lights in the sky. Is that his total contribution to that stream? Wow, what contribution. Thanks, Michael.
They're claiming Jupiter is physical. It's a physical sphere, and the comet that they observed had fragments hitting into it, and it could be it gave these craters, you could say, in the clouds, because remember they believe it to be a gas giant.
I think she's got it. I think she's got it. By George, she's got it. By George, she's got it.
For months.
Well, I'm going to disagree a little bit with Mr. Sensible saying that he's got it. Yeah, Jupiter's a gas giant, but what he's failing to understand is that with Jupiter's the way that it's laid, it starts off with gases and it does literally go down to, it gets more and more dense down to liquids. So yeah, it doesn't have a solid surface per se, but at some point the objects that are going to be hitting it are going to be destroyed by pressures, exactly, and also the liquids as they get more and more dense. So yeah, he's I suppose, yeah, we did say it's a gas giant, but his interpretation of it is a little bit off, if you ask me.
And everybody could see it. But
yeah, as I said, they're not impacts in the clouds.
it's things like the Hubble Space Telescope see it. No one from home, like a normal actual, let's just say a amateur astronomer, would be able to see it. So that's one thing I found very odd.
It's not very odd. You need skill and equipment to capture images like this. This is not Shoemaker Levy. This was someone, a Mr. John McKeown, who captured the flash of an impact on Jupiter in 2016. He was very fortunate. He used an 11-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. So yes, you can do it, but you're going to need the right tools. Just waving a P1000 around out of focus ain't going to cut the mustard.
Yeah, exactly. But oh, hang on, I've got some adverts here. Let me just mute that for a second, and let me just get past these. I should get ad blocker, shouldn't I? I did have a Premiere account for YouTube, but wasn't really benefiting me that much. But if I can just get ad blocker, I can avoid all this kind of in the future, which I shall endeavour to do for the next time. Oh. Now I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Let's just rewind slightly.
But you're going to need the right tools. Just waving a P1000 around out of focus ain't going to cut the mustard.
Yeah, but as I said, I remember at the time I actually spoke to an amateur astronomer. Okay, fair enough. The guy that I spoke to had some pretty massive equipment, but he was an amateur astronomer. You know, he had thousands of pounds worth of equipment. But he, you know, he showed me. But I mean, he didn't video it or anything like that. But he did witness the impacts. He saw something. I can't precisely remember what. But yeah, there was nothing stopping amateurs from seeing this event. Amateurs could actually see the scars left. Rich, yeah, absolutely, yes, they can. They could, and those scars were left for some time.
So yeah, that was something very interesting to me. And then he brought this up, which I've never heard of. But yeah, that's what I've been looking into now. Excellent.
Well, I'm sure we're going to really enjoy
looking into. Yeah. Flatzoid's version of looking into is probably a little bit different from ours. In other words, he read a Wikipedia page. Yeah, sure.
Your research.
Did a few digging, and yeah, I can't find how any normal person can actually see it.
The thing is, the guy's just reading this and then quoting it as a proof, like.
No, Michael, or whatever your name is, he's not. He knows about it, and he read about it, and he probably remembers all the news reports at the time about it. So no, he didn't read a Wikipedia page, unlike you might do.
It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
I didn't just read this on Wikipedia.
String of news now, behave. Oh, I don't know. Whatever.
I happened to have been alive in 1994, and it was all over mainstream news about this comet that was going.
Exactly. There you go. Just exactly what I've just been saying. Mr. Sensible says it. Thank you very much.
To strike Jupiter. I watched as photos were shown of the various impacts. This was major news. It's not just some.
No, I didn't have a scope back then myself either, Rich. So no, I never saw it, but I just remember talking to an amateur astronomer about it.
Random little wiki article.
Okay, there we go. See, copyright ESA 994. Look at this brilliant art, guys. Look at that. That's so realistic. Wow.
You see, this is what that's really bugs me about a lot of flat earthers and Flatzoid included. Is excuse me. He takes which is something that's obviously animation, and portrays it as if whoever's put it on is claiming it's real footage. Nobody's claiming this is real footage, and we all know anybody with half a brain will realize that you couldn't take this kind of video footage. Oh, it bugs me. What a moron. Oh, the fake laugh. That's what bugged me when I saw this morning. It's so fake. String of News says, I didn't have a scope either, but there were public viewings of the older planetarium in Chicago where I lived. Yeah, yeah, I remember the planetarium actually near me, RMR Planetarium, had a show about that for an off and on for a number of years. I don't know if they still do it or not, but yeah, that's right, planetariums, things like that.
It's no use giggling and getting all moist and unnecessary. What you're looking at is an animation that's just illustrating what was going to happen.
Look how realistic
Yeah, exactly, Mr. Sensible. Yeah, it's just
these guys. Wow. I love it.
Yeah,
Check it out. Impact. Check there. Wow.
Okay,
it's an animation, Flatzoid. Christ's sake, grow up.
had a laugh at 1990s animation. Now tell us of your research about Shoemaker Levy 9.
Honestly, there's some very, very dim ballers. My mum's just said fake. That's my mum. My mum's listening. My mum says it's fake.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Now they're showing a dinosaur. I mean, what do you think? Did you honestly think that somebody from NASA, whoever produced this, are actually going to say that this is real? I mean, oh, Jesus wept. Hey, Professor Phil, sorry. Good to see you. Oh, and Spooky's joined us as well. I didn't even notice you here, Spooky. How you doing?
All right.
Amazing. Khan's mum can spot that a computer graphic video with a dinosaur in is fake.
Yeah, let's see. Amazing space videos, guys.
Exactly.
Long-lasting impacts of Comet Shoemaker Levy 9.
So we're going to see some of your research now then, Zoid.
Yeah, guys, it's amazing that the only people that can supply us with images for this is...
Okay, so unless I'm mistaken, I'm sure people in the chat can actually correct me on this. What we're actually seeing on the scan was actually an infrared scan of the many pieces of Shoemaker as it came into Jupiter when it collided. And if I understand correctly, I think it was 21 pieces. And I think we could only see something like about 17 or 18 of them because they were varying in size. And of course, the smaller ones were much more difficult to see. So I think that's what we're looking at. So if anybody says I'm wrong about that, please put it in the chat.
ESA and NASA and stuff. Weird that, eh? The same people that only supplies things like gas giants, where you can take your telescopes and you don't literally see the same things that they show.
What? I didn't notice that before. What did he just say?
Weird that, eh? The same people that only supplies things like gas giants, where you can take your telescopes and you don't literally see.
The same people that supply gas giants and only let your telescope see what you want them to see. I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough about what Flatzoid does he believe, but does he think that the planets that you see in space are projections on the dome or something? What the heck is he talking about? Jesus wept. Oh, huge ass. I didn't even. Is huge ass here? I didn't even notice. Huge ass coming, does he? Anyway, welcome all. Anyway, I'll carry on.
The same things that they show.
Earlier, I showed you imagery of Jupiter that the amateur astronomer had got. Jupiter varies between 365 and 601 million miles away. This beautiful image that you're showing now is of the broken up parts of a comet, Shoemaker 119, which was only a couple miles in diameter before it broke up. Imagery at those sort of distances. That's stunning.
I mean, look at these so-called impact points on
Huge arse is a gas giant. That's very rude, Stringer News. Apologise instantly.
Jupiter that they're talking about. This is much further away on their model than the moon, correct?
Oh, coming up is the stupidest comment he makes in a moment, and it just goes to show how really dumb he really is. Just what you see, what he says.
I'm going for yes.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it possible to see this stuff, but they can't see a much closer moon, lunar lander, or the flag?
Did you just hear what he just said? Let me just rewind it just so that you can all hear what he said again.
So why is it possible to see this stuff, but they can't see a much closer moon, lunar lander, or the flag?
Perhaps Flatzoid that the parts of the Shoemaker comet were a lot bigger than the lunar lander and the flag on the moon. Do you not see the connection? What's that thing that Father Tez says? These are close and those are far away. Oh, Flatzoid, you're as dumb as a brick, honestly. Professor Field says, no, he thinks telescopes are hacked so that when you look at a planet, you see what they want you to see. Oh, yeah, he's one of those, is he? Right, okay. Yeah, and I suppose NASA makes all the telescopes or implants the visuals inside the telescopes so you can only see what they want to see. But honestly, he's just dumb as a brick. He really is. I mean, does he not seem to grasp the concept of size and scale? Well, I suppose most flat earthers don't, but Flatzoid is kind of on another level when it comes to that, honestly. You're dumb as a brick, Flatzoid. You really are. You know, just think about the size of Shoemaker, even the parts of Shoemaker, which the comet itself was originally huge, but then it still broke up, but they were still pretty massive pieces. I think even the smallest pieces were a lot bigger than the lunar lander that's on the moon. Get a grip. Besides, you can see the lunar lander on the moon with the lunar rover, not lunar rover, sorry, the lunar orbital observer. Yeah, it's been photographed. It's there. So accept it if you will or not. Don't care. Anyway, let's play the rest of the video and see what else it's got to say.
Many Bothans died to bring us this information.
But yeah, like that was, so if I knew more about this, I would have asked Ms. Sensible, why is it that we're only getting these images from space agencies?
Except we didn't.
Why can normal amateur astronomers not have images? Because I can't.
They did. I'll try and find some. I'll dig some up, actually. I'll put it as a community post. I won't do it right now because I don't want to disturb the stream. But I'm pretty sure there's some amateur stuff out there. Stringer News, NASA eyeglasses make your wife look like a fashion model. Oh, can always a reliable and sensible comment from Stringer News. Anyway, good to see you.
Find anything for it.
Correct, Zoid. That would be because no amateur astronomers have produced images like this. Presumably because no amateur astronomers own the Hubble Space Telescope.
Well, I mean, you know, there was definitely amateur astronomers, but I'm thinking in 1992 there probably wasn't the technology good enough, perhaps, to... Somebody could tell me in the chat, that'd be really useful if I'm correct or not. But probably in those days, there wasn't the technology to put attachments on your lens in order to actually photograph it and stuff. So I'm guessing that. But as I said, I know of one that did witness it. Obviously, not to this level. They're never going to be able to see it to this level because, you know.
When I came across the Monzo business.
As I said, I'll get ad blocker at some point so we can avoid all this. I don't want to get into trouble. Let's rewind ever so slightly.
Astronomers own the Hubble Space Telescope.
But they do say they use Photoshop though, don't they? Because it has to be.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The same old thing because Don Petit once, and I wasn't Don Petit, was it Don Petit? I can't remember who it was that said, oh, the images of Earth that we have are Photoshop because it has to be. Because at the time we didn't have any satellites that were taking whole Earth images at this time. But they've used this over and over and over again for almost everything, like the moon, the planets, and all the rest of it. It's just horse crap. And also, they didn't actually say that it was Photoshop. Well, maybe you did, but but they don't understand obviously composite images. And this moron here is just repeating the same crap that they all repeat.
You know what I mean? It is Photoshop because it has to be.
Pajamas, Crookshank, if you're going to use the Flurf's cherry pick meme of choice, use it at the right time.
Yeah, it's a rendering. They have to take all the different layers and stick it onto one another.
Zoid, this isn't a rendering. It's a photograph.
Yeah, I'm not being funny, but I mean, just go back to that. I mean, if we're going to do a rendering, right? I mean, surely you would make it better than that. I think the testament that it's just, to most the average person, it just looks like a load of lights. I think it's testament the fact that it's actually true, if you ask me. If I was going to make a render, I'd make it a little bit more exciting, right? Okay.
Rendering. It's a photograph.
Why would you need video effects if you can just take a video?
Why would you need video effects if you're just going to take it? Hang on. What?
It's a photograph.
Why would you need video effects if you can just take a video?
Why would you need video effects if you're just going to take a video? What, a video like this one you're seeing right now? Because it's not possible, Flatzoid. What are you talking about? Honestly, this guy, I don't understand why he was never a better contender for top left last year. For the Dunning-Kruger Awards. He should have been. Because honestly, he's as dumb as a brick and he's so confident in his stupidity. He should have been better contender, honestly. I'm actually going to might present him as the next top left awards, whenever that likely be. And yeah, Flatzoid's going to be on there, I think. I hope.
Did you see that? Let me get it again.
Oh, there's that false laugh again. Flatzoid, honestly, you need an Academy Award. Honestly, it's terrible.
I'm sorry, but this is the most rubbish thing.
I'm beginning to think that your research is not very deep.
What's all these little red dots I'm looking at? They look like little fires.
That's it.
Little fires. Oh, another contribution, really good contribution from Michael. So far, he said they're just lights in the sky, and I was saying they're just little fires. Oh, he probably thinks the sun is a fire as well, I should imagine. Moron.
That's supposed to be the impact craters.
What? Hold on.
That's supposed to be the impact craters.
No. What? No, they're not the impact craters. They're not. What are you talking about? That's actually the pieces of Levi Shoemaker 9 before it actually collided with Jupiter. See, he doesn't even know what he's looking at. What the hell is he talking about? Craters. No, they're not. Oh God! You see why I think he's as dumb as a brick. I'm not going to apologise to bricks at all. I'm sorry, John, but I'm not. He just is. Just wow, exactly. RT96 craters. What the flip?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the level of your research. A row of little fires, impact craters on Jupiter. The photo you are looking at is of the broken up Shoemaker-Levy comet on its collision course to Jupiter. That image is not of impact craters. On the very wiki page you showed at the start of your stream, it says under that very photograph, Shoemaker-Levy 9 disrupted comet on a collision course. Total of 20.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Sensible. Craters. Oh God. I mean, even later. I mean, later in this video, you're going to see that he shows these impact craters that he's talking about, and he talks about them. I'm just wondering whether you perhaps realised at that point that he'd cocked up.
21 fragments taken in July 1994. Oh dear, Zoid.
It's just impossible. So yeah, Mr. Sensible, if you're watching this would be
Again, animation. That's why they got letters on the screen, Flatzoid. Nobody's claiming what you're seeing right now is real. Get a grip. Come on.
my rebuttal to you. It's fake.
Brilliant. So, following your research into Shoemaker-Levy, which I said would evidence that Jupiter is a physical object, on your live stream, you're...
Yeah, Rich, that's I meant to say that earlier on. When I noticed that on when we had it on Terry Davis, the Aussie Perspective this morning, I said, "Doctor, why does he put Doctor in front of his name?" And we were speculated as what Doctor might actually stand for, like dense retard or something. Because what's he a doctor of? Exactly. Oh, God. Yeah, wonder what is that about, Doctor Flatzoid? Yeah, okay.
Self, Pajamas Crookshank, and Michael come to the conclusion it's fake. Fantastic.
Yeah, come to the conclusion it's fake because reasons. I mean, have they? I mean, they haven't actually presented any evidence of any description, have they, to actually sort of say it's fake? Terry, who very funny, spooky. Terry, I don't know. I just a random name. I just thought, I don't know who that is either. Terry, some bloke. Terry, some Aussie guy. I can't remember. Some vague memory.
March 24th, 1993. Carolyn and Eugene Shoemaker.
Oh, 93 was it? I thought it was 92. So my bad if I've got the year wrong. I just remember it fairly well. Just can't remember what year it was. I was probably drunk through most of it.
And David Levy discovered this, Shoemaker-Levy 9, a comet that was broken up and orbiting Jupiter. It's believed it had only just been broken up as it passed within the Roche limit of Jupiter a year or two beforehand, and had probably been orbiting for around 20 to 30 years. Using a subtle blend of maths, orbital mechanics, and stirring in a little gravity, they calculated the orbit of Shoemaker-Levy, and they saw something wonderful. They saw that it was going to collide with Jupiter. This was an incredible once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The chance to see a major impact event. NASA and astronomers around the world prepared themselves in order to capture and gain as much information as they possibly could. There were 21 main fragments which were predicted to strike Jupiter over a period of about 6 days.
Yeah, 21, but I think we could only actually see something like about 17 or 18 of them or something like that, because the fragments were so, some of them quite small, and broken up because of Jupiter's gravity before it hit. Was a Gravity Desert Far found dead body on his way home last night. Jupiter Crash, an excellent song by The Cure. What's this song theme tonight? Didn't you mention earlier on another song earlier on RT96? Into Your Music.
And they varied from a couple of 100 meters to 2 kilometers in diameter.
Yeah.
Images were captured like these ones above of some of the impacts. The typical cloud top temperature of Jupiter is minus 143 degrees centigrade. When they struck, they were reaching peak temperatures of 23,700 degrees centigrade. As Jupiter rotated, scars from the impacts came into view. These scars were larger than the size of the Earth.
Yeah, so not craters, but scars. As we know, the makeup of Jupiter is such that it doesn't have a solid surface, so it's never going to have craters. And no, there weren't craters in the clouds either, Flatzoid. Yeah, they're scars that, because eventually, whatever the object is, as it goes further into the atmosphere of Jupiter, the pressures get greater and greater, and at some point, it's going to get destroyed. And because of the size and the velocity and everything else involved, yeah, it's going to leave these scars, right? So, I suppose it's probably a bit like. No, forget it. No, it's all right. I was just going to talk nonsense then.
It consisted of dust from the comet and gases stirred up from deeper levels within Jupiter. Images showing the effects were taken in many different wavelengths, and spectroscopy showed changes to the atmospheric makeup of the surface of Jupiter for many, many months. There is no doubt that this happened. The comet was a physical object that could be photographed. Its path, its trajectory, was calculated based on orbital mechanics requiring gravity and mass. A prediction was made as to when it would strike Jupiter, and that prediction held true.
Fun fact, the grumpy old mechanic says, fun fact, Eugene Shoemaker was the lead author of the first paper in January the 30th, 1970, issue of Science, a lunar regolith and tranquility base. Indeed, very good. Oh, yeah, string and use spectroscopy in a container. Oh, that was David Weiss that said that, wasn't it? He said that spectroscopy needs to be in a container. I remember that. That was a debate with Professor Dave, wasn't it? Yeah, when he said that spectroscopy needs to be in a container. The study of light needs to be in a container somehow. Dearth, yeah, David Weiss, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, dearth, I think, sounds better, doesn't it? Just, or better still, probably just dirt.
Jupiter is a real physical object, and that is fact. Yes. So, Zoid, I am going to give you a little bit of credit for not just ignoring Schumacher-Levy, which I mentioned. But, Zaphod, how do you score him?
Yeah, okay, so 10 out of 10 for style, but minus several million for good thinking, huh?
I agree. You have seen the evidence. What I want to know is, what is your excuse?
I'm a South African. You can clearly hear I'm a South African.
Diplomatic community.
It's just been revoked.
Just been revoked.
Oh, there it is. Thank you very much to Mr. Sensible. And as far as Flatzoid goes, Flatzoid, you're dumb as a brick. Don't. Best thing to do is don't talk about this space stuff, because you honestly haven't got a clue. There's not many things you have a clue about, and you've got even less clue about this sort of stuff. Dora, you've come a little bit late. I'm just coming to an end now. So yeah. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed this. It's the first time that I've actually done something for this for a few years now. And I really was just doing this as kind of a spur of the moment thing. I thought I'd try it. And do you think you'd like me to do something similar in the next time? You know, something maybe a little bit longer, maybe like a series, or, you know, maybe do them regularly on a regular day, or what would you know? What do you think? Shall I do some more of these? Probably just be once a week, because I really need to do it when it's kind of a quiet time, because this is a working house. Yeah. Let me know if you'd like to do. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I think I've got subscriber mode on the chat, so those that are chatting, you already probably are subscribed. And I could say I'll bring it to an end. And yeah, longer, uncut. What do you think? I've cut this. Good stuff. Excellent. Okay. Well, I'll do some more stuff in the near future, I think, definitely. Yeah, it's just a little bit difficult because where I am, I don't have the room really to do a proper studio. So where I am is kind of like a living area, and it's like people about. I've got my missus and stepson around, so I can't really expect them necessarily to stay very quiet. It's just they do tend to go out on a Saturday. They like to go shopping. I hate shopping, so that's why they're out at the moment. So that's why a bit of a quiet time. but I'm sure they probably won't mind. Yeah, thank you very much, Rich901. Thank you, and also Commander 401. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I will do it again, probably next Saturday. If I do one at a different time, then I'll set it up in advance, and hopefully you'll be notified. So I appreciate that. So yeah, definitely do it again, and something maybe a bit longer. I don't know how long I've been going on for. Let's have a look. How long have I been working for? Ooh. It doesn't look all that long, actually, is it? Oops, I need to refresh the page. Oh, a bit under, about 45 minutes or so, I think, haven't I? Yeah. Yeah, so next time, maybe do like an hour or an hour and a half maybe next time. Late, but starting over. Late. Was it late for you, is it, Rodent? Whereabouts are you? I could certainly maybe do it a little bit later, perhaps, but trying to get a quiet house, like I said, is a bit difficult here. So I'm sure it's quite early for maybe you guys in the US, but probably quite late for people, say, in Australia, I'm sure. Well, in Australia, it'll be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, isn't it? 4 o'clock, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for coming. Much appreciated. I will certainly do something in the not too distant future. Oh, let's get the right page up. Hang on, I'm getting all mixed up here now. We don't want that. We want that, and we want that. There we go. That's better. Sorry. Like I said, I'm not very practiced at this, so I need to get things a little bit better. So, thank you very much, and I shall see you next time.